Hi, this is Steve. Welcome back to my channel, Scale Model Kit Review. In this video, I build 5 stages of the Ford GT from DeAgostini Collections. Join me, will you? So 5 stages were received this month, and super excited to have those, stages 3 through 7. Now, you want to pay attention to this video because in stage 3, right away we start working on the door, and the instructions aren't that clear about how you install the hinge for this door. So I go about explaining how that hinge installs correctly, so you're not later on going to have to take this apart and change the hinge around so it will work correctly on the car later on when we install it on the body. So there you go. So please, if you haven't done so already, head over to DeAgostini Collectibles and subscribe to this car today. I put a promo code and a link down below. Please use the link down below. That lets DeAgostini know that you watched my video, and it helps me out and it helps them out. So with that, let's get started on all 5 stages, stage 3 through 7. I received 5 stages with package number 2 from DeAgostini Collections. Stage number 3 is the right door. Stage number 4 is the hood cover. And stage number 5 is the intake manifold and carburetors. Stage 6 is the headlight covers. And stage number 7 is the driver's seat. Here's the magazine for stage 3. Very cool articles found within. It's a fantastic magazine, just giving you the history of the Ford GT and its racing at Le Mans. And then we have the instructions here. We're going to be assembling the right door. Here's all the parts on the left everything is laid out here for you. So it gives you a listing of everything that came with your stage here. And then step-by-step instructions as far as assembling the door hinge first, the door latch, the interior panels of the door, and that should complete it. So I'll be right back with the parts. And very large parts pack for stage number 3. So I'll go ahead and take these out and we'll get a closer look. So here's a thing of beauty. This door is absolutely fabulous. The color of it, the Gulf colors, the light blue and the orange striping, plus the number here on there, and the Gulf symbol. And you can see this is all metal. Very nice there. And this is the interior panel that will go on the inside, and that's made of plastic. Let's look at the other parts. And here's some of the other parts. The window is absolutely beautiful. It has the opening vent on the window there, and that's going to go in very nicely. I love the black trim around the glass. That's very cool. Also, we have the upper panel for the door, and we have some of the other panels that go in the door also here. All these are plastic. And here's the rest of the parts that were included. Let's look at the screws first. We have the FP01 screw, FD01 screw, FP02, FD03, and FD04. We have the door hinge assembly, and I'll show you how to install that correctly, along with the mounting point for the door hinge. And then we have the door latch mechanism and the exterior door light. First thing I'm going to do is install the exterior door light, and it only goes in one way. There's a keyway here. And FP02 screw goes into this. I'm using my Wera screwdriver. Very nice screwdrivers. I talked about these before on my channel. I highly recommend this. This is a Wera PH1. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install the door hinge. But let me point out some stuff in the instructions on this because there's some confusion about the hinges. So the illustration shows the hinge as if it lays flat just like that on the door, and it doesn't lay like that on the door. It never will because it installs a different way on the car body itself. So don't get confused there. So don't seem like the flat portion of the hinge needs to go against the door, and that's not the case. Later on we're going to put it secure it with this plate here, and they tell you to leave it loose or tighten it to however you need and you can deem fit. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. So we have the door here. I'll turn it over. Have a good view of the hinge area. Now they show you taking the hinge here, right? If you look at the hinge, you can see that it appears that there's a flat area and then there's an angled area. Okay, flat and angled. So they tell you to do this, put the flat up against it just like that. Okay, and that's not how it installs on the car. It actually installs on the car like that. Okay, so when you mount this to the body, you're putting the screws in straight in. So by doing that, the door still needs to be able to rotate on this hinge. Will it rotate if I pull it? It will not. Hear that? It won't rotate. So you need to turn it over, because remember, it installs just like that on the body. Okay, will it rotate? Yes, it will rotate. So that's the way it needs to go. So it's actually the angled side goes against the body, but I'm gonna leave it like that when I install it. I went ahead and marked the top with some silver paint so I wouldn't forget. Now sometimes on these hinges you go by the writing on them. Well, the writing on this, it does have an R on it, but it's sideways. Okay, so that doesn't mean anything. Normally you would say if you can read it, then it's the right way up, you know. So making sure, but in this case they didn't do it that way on this hinge. So we'll put this in, and now we'll put the panel on that holds it in, the plate, the hinge plate. Just like that. And remember, this goes up like that. Okay. FD01 screw goes into it. I'm going to lubricate the hole for that. I use Vaseline. And just like that. Vaseline helps you helps the screw make its own threads in the metal, and nice and tight, and we're good. And so I got it too tight because notice I can't move it, so I'm going to loosen it up. A little more. There we go. That's better. Because you want it to be, you don't want it to just swing open while you're building the car. So that should be good. Okay, so we're going to put our door latch mechanism in next. I'm going to go ahead and lubricate those holes. We'll go ahead and put our spring on the door latch mechanism. We're going to put the latch mechanism through the door. Just like that. Going to put our support bracket on that. FD04 screws go into this. There we go. And that should just allow that to hinge back and forth. Next, I've got to put the window in, and that simply just goes down from the back side. Just like that. Three FD03 screws go into this, and these are flange type screws. You can see the flange there. Perfect. And that looks great there. You can see I had my towel down to protect the finish of the door, but that looks fantastic. Now we'll put the interior panel on. Here's our interior panel. We're going to add some parts to it here first. We're going to install this little interior cubby. That's going to line up on an alignment pin. There we go. FP01 screw goes into that. That's how that looks. Turn it over. I'll bring the door back over. Next step is to put this interior panel on. Now it simply just snaps in place. Four spots, and that's perfect there. Now I'll bring the door panel back over. But before I do, I'm going to lubricate where it's going to be mounted. And bring the panel over, and it's simply going to slide on those two slots. Just like that. FD01 screws go into this, 2 of them. That looks good there. Before I seal it up and make sure this works, it does. Looks good. And we simply just put our little cover on that. And that snaps down in place. Perfect. Looks great. That's actually looks like the door handle for closing it. Very good. So remember, that's how your hinge goes. And that's all we do for stage 3. Let's go to stage 4. Here's the magazine for stage 4. Lots of fine articles in here. It's a great magazine. We'll go right to the build here. We're going to be assembling the hood cover. And very nice color illustrated, easy to follow steps here. Let me get the parts and I'll be right back. Here's the parts for stage 4. Very nice. I'll take these out and we'll get a closer look. Here's a close-up of those parts, and this is the hood cover, made of metal. Very nice. Great finish on that. The latches for the hood cover, those are plastic. And the inner center console, or cover they call it. We're not going to use this in this stage. We're going to save it for later. So I brought over the hood, and remember that from pack 1. Looks fantastic. Go ahead and bring over the hood cover. That's going to go down right on top of it, just like that. And we're going to go ahead and put our hood latches in. This is the hood latch right here, and it simply just inserts into that, and then we rotate it and it locks it in. And the last one in. Perfect, perfect, and perfect. So that's what they look like there. And that's all I do with stage 4. Let's go to stage 5. Here's magazines for stage 5. Very cool articles here. Nice one here on the Lotus. This time we're going to start assembling the intake manifold and carburetors. Lots of steps here, but it's relatively easy to do. So let me get the parts out and I'll be right back. And here's all the parts for pack 5. This is the carburetor base, and that's very nice there. It's made of plastic. Intake manifold, which is made of metal. 4 carburetors, and these are the Weber type carburetors. Very nice, kind of a goldish color to them. And they call these diaphragms. There's 8 of them, but in America we call them velocity stacks. So these are very cool chrome-plated velocity stacks. These are plastic. These are the carburetor cover, and that's what that looks like there. The fuel hose, which is rubber, that's very nice. I like that. And some of our throttle linkages for the carburetors. And the screws, FP01 screws. I'll assemble the throttle linkage first. 3 parts here, and you'll notice they are very fine and fragile. So the rail here has 2 holes on top, and then we have the lines that run across them. So the way this goes is you want to have this part here with the pin insert on the right side here, just like that. Just like that. And the next one, same way. Okay, and that's how that goes. Next we put the throttle linkage into the carburetor. Okay. That's good there. Now I'll go ahead and bring over the carburetors. And they are marked underneath. There's a 2 underneath, right there, you can see it. There's a 2 right there. And a 1. So the 1 fits into where the 1 goes. Just like that. Find the other number 1. Just like that. And the 2s, making sure your fuel line hookups are facing the same direction. And these are the 2s. And that's how they'll look. So to keep it simplified, I'm going to do one at a time. Put the velocity stack in. Just goes in one way. It inserts with a notch. Put a screw into that, and that's going to be a FP01 screw. That's good there. I'll do the others and I'll be right back. And that's how they look there. They look great. Now we'll go ahead and put our fuel line in. That simply will go through, feed through this hole here. Just like that. Where they're even on both sides here. and it's going to get inserted on the carburetor. Use some tweezers for this. There. Right there. The other side, same thing. Like that. And like that. Okay, that looks great there. Then it's going to, both of these lines will feed through this hole here. Pull that through. There we go. That's how that looks there. And this is going to mate up just like that. 2 screws to hold it in place. NPO1 screws. And the last one. That's good there. Turn it over. And the last thing we do is install the cover. Looks like it just snaps in place. That's how that looks there. Very nice. So that's all we do with stage 5. Let's go ahead and assemble stage 6. Here's the magazine for stage 6. Some more great articles here. Bruce McLaren. Very nice. And the parts for stage 6, which are the front headlamps. All the covers involved there. Step-by-step instructions, very clearly spelled out here. I love the color illustration too. Everything's very nice there. Let me get the parts and I'll be right back. Here's the parts for stage 6. Very nice. I'll take them out and we'll get a closer look. And here's the parts. These are the headlight covers themselves. These are the headlights here and the fog lights. FDO1 screws. Go ahead and start working on the headlights and the fog lights. So these headlight covers go on only one way. There is a notch on one side of the lens, and you can see the notch on the corresponding reflector. So we'll put that down. It simply just snaps in place. Just like that. Do both of those. Perfect. And the fog lights, same thing. They have a notch on them. So just pay attention to that. There it is. And line that up with the notch, the lens. Snaps right in. Let's go on to the next step. I'll put the fog lights aside because I don't think we're going to install those just yet. And you'll notice on the light itself, it has one part that sticks out and the other one that sticks down. So the downside will go on this notch, and the top one would just snap in on top. So we'll put it in on top first and then slide it in from the bottom. There you go, just like that. Okay, so you less risk to break it, so we'll put it in on top first, just like that. You can see how it goes in on top, like that, and then we'll slide it in from the bottom. That's how those look there. And we're going to insert the lens covers. Make sure you grab the right side first, and there that is. That's simply just going to go down. Try not to leave any fingerprints on these. So I'm going to go ahead and insert this down to hold all that in place. FP01 screw goes into this. And it tightens down just nice. Put the lens on the other side. Bring over the lens and put that in on the other side here. Put our cover on. FP01 screw goes into that. Perfect. And that's how that looks there. Looks fantastic. Like I said, we'll put the fog lights aside. Let's go ahead and go to the last stage for pack 2, and that's stage 7. Be right back. Here's stage 7 magazine for the final stage of pack 2. And once again, breeze through the articles here. Getting into Carroll Shelby here with the Mustang. And we start assembling the driver's seat. Beautiful pictures here. That's impressive. I'll get the parts and I'll be right back. Here's the parts for stage 7. Very nice there. I'll take this out and we'll get a closer look. And here's the parts. So this is the driver's seat, and both are made of plastic here. And screws are the FP03. Be careful, the screws are actually inserted underneath the blister pack. So just be aware of that. So with the seats, they just mount together here, and you have some alignment holes for each. So this pretty much just goes on top of that. Just like that. And then we'll put in 2 FP03 screws. These are flange type screws. Be careful you don't overscrew this in. It could loosen up, so not too tight. Just till it's snug, and that's good there. That's how that looks. So that's all we do with this stage. That completes pack 2. I enjoyed this very much. It's a lot of fun to assemble. I'll be right back and we'll look at all the parts so far that we've assembled in this build. And here they are, everything that we've received so far with pack 1 and pack 2. We received the carburetors, intake manifold, and that's very nice there. One of the wheels and brake assemblies. That was very nice to do too. The driver's seat, the center console, the right door with complete interior also, and lastly the front hood of the car with all the lights. So if you like my content, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for all video upload notifications. And if you would, head over to DeAgostini Collections and check this out. Subscribe to it today. I put a promo code in the description below, and also a link that'll take you right there to it. You can start your collection from pack 1 as much as I did, and you can follow along. I also created a Facebook group for this. I'll put a link below for that also, so join my Facebook group where we can answer any of your questions. And I hope I helped you out with the door hinge and how that goes. Remember that it mounts just like that right up against the body. Okay, so that should help you out immensely. Happy modeling, everybody, and take care.